Hello guys, welcome to this episode. This is going to be a basic Anna guide for seasons 3. Not big changes, so don't look for anything interesting, just kind of normal stuff. I'm only redoing this because someone asked me to, so yeah, this is to help players that are just getting into Anna again. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first off, let's just go over punishment real quick. Her punishment is pretty poor, as most people already know. Your 10 frame punish, you'll probably go for 2-3 back a lot of times, but it doesn't have the range, so sometimes you do need to use 1-2. So yes, 4-1-2 will give you a lot more range, and 2-3 back will just whiff. So yeah, so sometimes use 4-1-2 better than 2-3 back, but 2-3 back is very amazing, guys. Just want to make sure you guys know that when you use 2-3 back, always opt for 1+2. Don't worry about the additional damage that you're gonna get from the low hit. You might get 26 damage on here, but the thing is, if you get launch punished for this, it's not worth it, right? But I mean, keep in mind that you have that option, and I guess you can use it. Use it as much as you want, but my thing is, use down 1 and 1+2 a lot after this option, because this will condition. If your opponent doesn't duck, then if they always guard this, then yeah, you condition them, then go ahead and use this option. But the point is, after 2+3, you're at +9, and the majority of the characters cannot do anything after +9. So yeah, and this option is like 18, but you know, you still get this as a 9 frame option. So yeah, it will still beat out pretty much everything. The majority of things, yeah. There are stuff that can beat it, like Flash and, you know, back 1 from Xiaoyu and so on and so forth. But other characters, like even Harain's back 1, will get hit with this option because it does track fully in this situation. For some reason, I don't know why it does, but it just does. Okay, with that said, 11 frame punishment, go ahead and use the same option. 12 frame option, same thing. Don't worry about 12 frames. You don't have any 12 frame, you don't have any 11 frame. So yes, just use 2-3 backs though. 13 frame, don't worry, same option. You know, 2-3 back is the best option for 13 frame, or you can use down 4-1-2. It does less damage and it gives you less frame advantage, and pretty much it's worse than 2-3 back, but it does have more range. So if you need the range, use 2-3 back. If 2-3 back doesn't reach, for example, Brian's down 4-2-3, a lot of times it pushes you like this far, and then down 4-1 doesn't reach, but you can just use up 4-1 against those situations. Up 4-1 is also 13, but it's not a natural combo, so just use this one by itself, and then it is +7 afterwards. So you can do like good mix up after this, yeah, so you can go into like 4-3 or something like that. But don't worry too much, just use this by itself. Don't ever throw the second one out if it's just a punish, if you're using it as a punish. So yeah, 14 frame, maybe some people like to use this option, maybe even this option, or maybe this option. These are your only 14 frame. Sometimes I use this a lot as well, but 14 frame, you can still just use this too, because it's really, in my opinion, your best option. Because even if you knock them down, I just don't feel like a lot of these knockdown gives you that much frame advantage. Even this move here doesn't give you that much frame advantage. But I mean, you can use these. It does more damage, and it's pretty much worth it, I guess. So yeah, go ahead and use the 14. With 15 frame, I feel like 15 you should use this option as much as you can, but in the end of the day, if it doesn't work out for you, use any of the ones before. So yeah, 16 frame, definitely use this. Definitely 16 frame. Either that or this at just frame if you have the skills to do it, but it's too hard to use this, so just use this at 16 frame. And yeah, anything that's beyond that, you know, pretty much 16, this will work. And then with the additional range, you can use for 4-3. So yeah, that's pretty much all of her punishment, and low options are pretty much as well Rising 2. So yep, that's all of her punish for you. that you should get accustomed to using. And then good moves that I usually use, down 4-1-2 as a poke. Your standing 1 is a great poke. Your standing 2 is also a great poke. They're both +1 on block. So yes, use these as your poke. But if you need a mid poke, down 4-1-2. Always down 4-1-2. For some reason, I do use down 4-3-3-3 as well. I recommend down 4-3-3-3, but it really is up to you. It's a little bit slower, 1 frame slower, so I don't know. Never use down 4-3-2 just by itself like this. Make sure if you're gonna throw this, you might as well throw the whole string, you know, or the 3rd string and then stop. So a lot of thing is also, a lot of players that are accustomed to Ana know this pressure option here. So you have to switch it up like 2-1, down 4-1. You have to do this enough to get them accustomed to pressing buttons so that you can at least throw out the pressure option here, because she doesn't have a mid mix-up, so that's how you should do it. So yes, some of the good moves that you should use, definitely down back 3 for beginners and even advanced players. A lot of people gets hit with this, even in tournament offline play. Player still gets hit with this. It comes out too fast for the majority of the people to really react, and they can say they blocked it online, but trust me, even offline players drop their guards on this. So yeah, use it if you really need it. I feel like it's worth it. This option here, I wouldn't recommend it as much because less reward and way more risk. So yeah, even this option here, I wouldn't recommend to use it too much because it's a lot more riskier, and plus it doesn't have that much reward either. It does have good reward, but if you drop from afar, a lot of times you don't get the full damage. You just get that down 3-4-1 option. Still good damage, better than Devil Jin's Hell Sweep, you know. So okay, yeah. And then with all that said, your go-to move, in my opinion, should always be full 4-3. Always full 4-3. Because even though it's punishable, you know, it's 12 frame punishable, but I still feel like because of the way that you approach your opponent and the way that you hit your opponent on guard, a lot of time their reaction to attack it's -13, but the thing is it also has an extension as well. A lot of time people tends to not punish you even though it's 13, so it's very useful, and plus it tracks both ways. So yeah, so very useful move. Use this as much as you can, you know. I rather use this than this, to be really honest, even though it does less damage. So yeah, okay. And other useful move, also down 4-4 is very useful, very punishable, but very useful as well. So go ahead and use this option. 1+ down 4, 1+2, I use it here and there, but you have to really set them up to use this option. I wouldn't just recommend you just going straight for it and then using it. Sometimes it works, but the majority of the time it probably won't work. Okay, let's look at some of her weakness so that we can go ahead and evaluate this, because a lot of people tend to say she's weak to sidewalking, but it's not completely true. It's just to one's opinion, you know, because a lot of other character has worse weakness than she does. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and look at sidestep clockwise. This is her weak side, so this is where you have to focus the most. This is when they sidestep clockwise, she has the weakest options. In other words, you have to use this quarter circle for 1 a lot, and it's duckable, so it really sucks. But go ahead and use this option for if you see players walking that way. Of course, you can just use your homing move, but a lot of your homing moves are very slow, so that's one thing, and they're not as rewarding. This one, like I said, it's probably a little bit more rewarding in this version, but I still would recommend if you just go for quarter circle for 1, keeps pressure on defense, and plus it's pretty good. You could always use it for 2 too. It's very good as well. So yeah, but just for tracking sake, quarter circle for 1, up for 1. I will just show you all your tracking option to go that side. Up for 1, 4-2, 4-2-4, of course, down, back 1, 4. Usually the 4 whiff, so you don't really want to throw out the 4. So yeah, down, just use that option like that. And then for 4-3 on a delay option, you can catch this. So yeah, you still get a full launch after this. So yeah, it's definitely worth noting that that move is one of your best option, as I've already said. You know, and then of course your core circle 4-4, not a big deal. I don't really like this move, but it's still useful. And then this option here also tracks that way, but it's really inconsistent. I would not use this ever to track for tracking, because it just missed sometimes and sometimes it hits, so I don't really know why. Also down 4 1+2, it has tracking, but it doesn't have like immense tracking. This is pretty weak though. If you do it a little slow, it will whiff. And then of course also CJM1. CJM1, if they try to walk that side, yes, they will get hit counterclockwise. And the last one is also this very trackable option here. This option pretty much is the no-brainer option to track, right? If they move a little bit slow, they will get hit. If they move really fast, they will at least duck that option. So yeah. So it is duckable, but it's really, it is avoidable, but it still tracks very well. So yeah. Okay. And then options to track to your strong side. When they move this way, it's not, you don't worry too much because this is your strong side. So immediately you could just do your most reliable move for 4-3. It will track both ways at some point. You know, it doesn't track hard, but it still track good. You know, this side it tracks good. The other side it tracks not as good. But this is your strong side, so you should be able to track very well. And then down 4-2 tracks pretty decent too. This one tracks decent. It doesn't track strong, but it tracks enough. Okay, this one tracks super well to that side. So yeah, you can use this option, but it's launch punishable. I wouldn't recommend it. Also this one, I wouldn't recommend using this either. It does track that way. This is one that I do recommend. This move does track that way, and it actually is really useful. So yeah, you can use that. And then also core circle 4-2-1 tracks very well as well that side. Not one of my recommendation either, but I use it. So yeah, because the thing is, you do have a second option, you know. I mean, you can cancel it. So yeah, so that's to her strong side. She's got a bunch of the launchers and low pokes that are really strong. Of course, both down 3 and down 4 does track both sides pretty well as well. So yeah, and then just like I said before, don't worry, you do have homing options that are really useful as well. So yeah. Okay. And then just a quick note to help out beginners, don't spam too many high duckable strings. For example, 1-2-4, 1-2 down 4 1-2-3, and down 4 1-2-4. Those are duckable strings, you know. 2-1-4 is duckable. 1-2-1-4 is duckable. This is duckable. Anything after down 4-3 is practically duckable, you know. So yeah, don't throw those out too much. Core circle 4-3-2, don't use this way too much. People will start ducking it. It's good on block, but it's not good when they start ducking it. So yeah, back 1-2. Back 1-2 is also a high, so you don't want to use this move too much. Don't spam these options. So yes, CJM down back 3-3. Don't use this way too much. One thing is I'm gonna have to stress you guys on this is this option here, less reward for more punishment. Just don't use it too much. Unless your opponent doesn't duck at all, then I say yeah, go for it. But this option, more reward, less punishable. I rather you use this, or even like 3, you know, CJM 3. So yeah, just like that. And yeah, that pretty much covers most of everything. We'll just look at the pressure after this. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna go into wall damage or anything like that, what kind of combo you should use. You know, I think you should probably be aware of the kind of combos you should use. Basically, okay fine, I'll go ahead and go over it. Basically, use this Dample combo for anything. Like, I don't care if you're playing offline, online, if you use this, you will never drop it, right? just use these. If you're beginning and you're not used to Ana, use these very basic down 4, 3, 2 options. Super easy, right? Once you get a little bit more advanced, you can probably throw out like quarter circle 4-1, but I still wouldn't recommend you doing that online. The only time you should use it is when you do down 4-2, because it gives you a lot more time to do it, to use that option. So yeah, your hop kicks are garbage, so be very careful about using these. If you really want to, you probably better to do a kick away, because it's harder to punish. And if you really need a high crush, low crush immediately, probably back 3 or just parry. But back 3 will give you like launch, so that's probably better. And yeah, so let's go ahead and look at some of her pressure games. So yeah, Ana's pressure game mainly comes from from blocks. Her low pokes are really bad. She only has one low poke pressure option, which is down 4-4. That's the only move she has. Any other one are all minus on block. All these options are minus on block. Okay, I lied. Down 4-1 back does have you +1, but it's not that big of a deal with +1. Use this option a lot too, guys. This is your panic move, okay? Go to panic move. Anytime, just start using this. Throw it out like this, or throw it out with like this, or this. Always try using the fast options. Yeah. So basically, you only have 2 low options that are plus frames. So really, you have to stick to those guns sometimes, because your options really suck. And then your mid and your pressure moves aren't the best either, because for 4-2 is obviously a high. It's +6. It's not the best move, but I do spam it quite a bit because a lot of people don't duck. But if they do duck a lot, you don't want to ever use that, because it's super long for the whiff recovery. So yeah. And then quarter circle 4-1 is probably better to use this than this, even though they basically feel the same. This one does have a long whiff as well, but it is a little bit faster. So yeah. And then your mid option plus frames, sidestep 3 is pretty useful, but it does have a long startup time. So yeah, don't like abuse this unless you're like at the wall. If you are at the wall, I think it's okay to abuse it, but if you're not at the wall, I wouldn't say to abuse it. And then this third hit, also +7, also comes out from here as well. I wouldn't say just abuse this either. If you're like playing like green rank, red rank, like lower rank people, you know, yeah, go ahead and spam these options. But if you're playing higher rank, just don't spam them, because it's not gonna be that useful. And then of course down 4-1 +2 gives you +1 on block. And if you have the skills, you can probably go for the just frame from here. If you can do the just frame, then great for you. It's +6. It's easy if you smash it from this option here. It usually is, but yeah. If you can do this option, then yeah, it gives you +6 on mid option. So yeah, it's really useful. So yeah, that pretty much covers all her pressure. Actually, she also has this one too. This is +2. At low ranks, you can kind of spam this, but then people are just gonna call you a spammer, so you don't really want to win by just doing this. But it is really good for low ranks. So yeah, it is +2 on block, so that is actually pretty useful. So yeah, that, and also down 4-1 and down 4-1 is also a really useful pressure option here. If they don't guard the first one, or even if they just guard the second one, you're still at 0 on block, so you can actually have a mix-up of high and low here. So you will still trade with the 10th ring, or just go for high crush. So yep, that's a very useful one. And then let's see. Um, Also your 444, this doesn't really do much. It's so far and so slow, and it doesn't really low crush at all. If they hit low, they still crush, they still hit you sometimes. So yeah, it is 0 on hit block, but at a far range it is plus. So yeah, it can be up to +3, so you can use it if you want from long range. But aside from that, I don't know. I only use it if I try to hit a person on the ground, but it's not really worth much after that. I mean, other than that, you know. And pretty much that has it all with Anna, I guess. I mean, if you guys are still struggling with Anna, playing Anna, I have to tell you that it's going to always be hard to open up your opponent with Anna because people don't like to duck. If people duck, it will become easy for Anna. But because people don't like to duck, then all your mid options become very useless. But if they don't like to duck, you can really use these options or abuse them more, you know. These options will be more abusable if they don't like to duck. But if you get them ducking, then I really advise you to use before 3 a lot. Before 3 or down 4-2, just go up and use them. So yeah, that's practically how you should play her. I don't recommend like a lot of like full crouch mix-up. The reason why I don't recommend a lot of full crouch mix-up is because if you go for a full crouch mix-up and you want to do the low, you're already saying I'm gonna risk getting launch punished for this option, right? So that's why I don't like it, right? Or if you're just gonna go for a mid, then you're basically like putting yourself at a counter hit risk, right? Because your options from full crouch are too slow, you know. So that's why I recommend you playing at like a faster frame pace, right? So a lot of down 4-1s, down 4s, down 4-3s, you know, stuff like that. Down 4 maybe down 4-4 every now and then. This is kind of abusable, but it is launch punishable. I wouldn't say every player is gonna launch punish you for this, but trust me, if you play against players that are just expecting it, they're definitely gonna launch punish you. And players like Jin and Master Raven, who has an easy 14 while rising, will definitely get you easy. So yeah, just watch out for that. So I hope this actually helps you guys out. If it doesn't, give me any questions you guys want. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And yeah, that's it, man. Hopefully you guys like this video. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, and see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.